is.
Welcome back to Talk of Alabama. Hair loss and your hair thinning is something a lot of people worry about and aren't sure if there's something they can do to stop the hair loss. This morning we are talking to a University of Alabama alumnus and doctor who is behind Stop and Regrow, a hair loss treatment program that is designed to help. Dr. Nettles joining us now. Dr. Nettles, thank you so much for being here.
Well, nice for you to have me on, Catherine.
Yeah, and it's nice for me to say roll tide, and you know what I mean too.
Yeah, roll tide, you better believe it.
So tell us about Stop and Regrow. I think a lot of people who are experiencing hair loss or hair thinning have probably tried different products with maybe limited success. So what makes Stop and Regrow different?
Well, and then that's it. You mentioned, Catherine, people have tried different types of treatments and different medicines and different programs and different laser caps. And what we realized was about 22 years ago that hair loss is not a symptom that you can treat, but it's a symptom of an underlying biochemical imbalance. So you're not treating something with one medicine. You're actually looking at the body as if it's an ocean. And you have a lot of molecules inside your bloodstream. And we think of the bloodstream as the Nile River, right? The blood is going to go touch all the cells, remove all the waste, and bring all the supplies. But if your ocean has imbalances in the molecules, then the cells have an environment that's not conducive to growing. So those hairs start to wither away and miniaturize. And that's what the condition is an actual imbalance of the chemistry. So we studied all of the molecules inside the blood over the last 2 decades, and we found out there are optimal ratios of molecules. So you cannot ever treat hair loss or any condition with one medicine. That's the type of thinking 50 years ago. And that's the type of stem cell thinking that led scientists down that pathway. And we realized that the cells are made of molecules, and molecules can be as small as 2 atoms holding hands called water, or as complex as one called DNA. And we took on studying the DNA molecule. So we've been studying the genes that are responsible for causing the chemical imbalances. And then we regulate the enzymes inside the body and sort of move the molecules around like a pinball inside the human body. And then once you optimize the molecular ratios of multiple molecules inside the body, you then have the perfect condition for optimal hair growth, like myself, as you'll see. And not only does the hair regrow nice and strong, the skin cells get better, and you'll notice I've got pretty nice skin. Muscle cells get better, and you'll end up having very good body performance. So all of the cells in the body. So we used to think the human body was very complex, and it is 100 trillion cells, but there's only 200 different types of cells. There's only 4,000 different molecules in the blood. So after studying them, you can start to create an algorithm, and today we've got a computer algorithm where we'll take your blood work, we'll put it into the algorithm, and then outputs what your capsule needs to be. And today, with a daily capsule, you can rebalance your chemistry and get all of those benefits that I talked about.
Wow, so it sounds like, a fairly complicated process. It sounds like what you're doing, what this treatment is doing inside the body, there's a lot going on. I have to ask, are there downsides to rearranging your body chemistry at the molecular level?
So years ago, we heard of this term called side effects. And today, if you research hair loss, the number one thing people are concerned about is things called side effects. A side effect is an unknown effect. Today, understanding the molecules, you have what we call known effects. And in 20% of men, for example, if you try to treat one of those molecules, which is the number one prescribed medicine on the marketplace, you will imbalance the hormonal axis and you will cause more problems. So without the understanding, you are right. You can have known effects that are are deleterious to the human body. But if you understand where the molecules can go and cannot go with precision, and that's what precision medicine is, you can target the molecular ratios inside the human body. So we don't have side effects. We have known effects. We had one patient, the mother of a patient flew over from Australia, and she said, Dr. Nettles, I didn't fly over because you grew hair on my 15-year-old son, which you did. She said, my 15-year-old son and my husband have never behaved better. What did you put in that capsule? So we're not treating hair loss, we're treating the molecular ratios, and we reverse things like anxiety and depression, which is affecting 20% of human adults today. That's actually caused by an imbalance of the estradiol, the estrogen molecule inside a man's body. A man wants some estrogen, but as you know, not too much, right? You become the other gender. So it's all about controlling and understanding the molecules inside the body with precision and having known effects. We happen to have clients on 6 continents all around the world, but we haven't targeted the Southeast and where I grew up. So even though we're well known in New York and Los Angeles, Prague, Egypt, all around the world, we're not really known in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I went to school there and I grew up there, and I know quite a few people that have family history of hair loss, and we'd like to do something about it to share the knowledge with them so they can make choices and make better decisions.
Yeah, interesting concept, Dr. Nettles. I understand that there is an opportunity to get a supply of the treatment.
You're right. The marketing company said, Doctor, let's do something for some of the people in the Southeast and actually make it nationwide. But we're going to introduce it, I guess, on this show. Is they're going to nominate yourself or someone that you think deserves to have a nice head of hair and a lot of confidence, maybe extra nice muscles, nice skin. And you go to the website, you write up some entry there, and I think they'll make a decision, and they may have us back on the show to introduce the winner.
I gotcha. So there's an opportunity there. Where can people learn more about Stop and Regrow?
Well, the website has most of the information, as you mentioned, Stop and Regrow. And from an SEO standpoint, people were looking to stop their hair loss, and they were looking to regrow it, Catherine. So Stop and Regrow happens to be the #1 known hair loss website in the United States. It just makes sense. But you can get a lot of the background information and knowledge. But the goal is you don't need to absolutely understand all of the biochemistry to get started. You need to understand that something inside your blood is causing this condition, and it can be treated. And that just first get the blood work. So I think if you go to the website, find out more about how to get the blood work. We have relationships with, I think, 4,000 labs inside the continental United States. So we should have one within 2 to 3 miles of anybody that's listening.
Great to know. Dr. Nettles, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Catherine.